Center for the Megapop Digital Innovation Conference. We're pleased to welcome now Chris Brown. He's the Northern District Public Service Commissioner for the state of Mississippi. Commissioner, good to see you. Thanks for coming on, sir.
Good to be here. Thanks for having us.
So this event is it's been going on, about 20 years or so, and it gets bigger, gets better every time. And, of course, the technology continues to advance so that the topics and the subject matter change every year. But this part of this region of the state, in particular, in the Northern District here, it's doing pretty well economically, and we're wiring up the place at a pretty rapid speed as well, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing that what a group of people that have a dream and an idea, and as they come together and bring government, private sector, and community organizers all together to accomplish a goal. And there was reported, I didn't know it, I should have, but they are saying North Mississippi is the top wired region in rural America.
Exactly.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So we've got great electric co-ops across the state, but in your neck of the woods here in the Northern District, and many of them are involved in installing fiber and connectivity across the landscape. This was made possible, I believe, when you were in the legislature, right?
It was.
Law was changed. Talk about that.
You know, they spoke about it yesterday that there was a headwind because the legacy providers did not want the locals getting involved.
The telecom providers,
yes,
typically,
sir. Yeah. And so, you know, it made sense because broadband is the digital superhighway.
Yep.
And so that's how we get to the world now. So we have our road system, and that's how we move around physically. And the electronic superhighways where we get around electronically. So now with broadband and being able to allow the co-ops to deploy it, it's been deployed faster. It's closer to home. Now, you know, you can do school from home. My daughter is enrolled in nursing school. She does a lot of work from home because of the Monroe Connect. I live in Monroe County, so I've got broadband internet at home, and so we can do school. You can do telemedicine. It's amazing what you can do with
We've all become conditioned to it. We're accustomed to it. We demand it. We expect it. And, of course, we saw the storm that just ravaged the folks to our east, in particular North Carolina and some of the mountainous region. The former president, Donald Trump, worked with Elon Musk to deploy some of the Starlink satellite internet service technology. And then, of course, you got the carriers that are deploying the mobile cell phone towers as well, trying to restore. I think the point is we've just become accustomed to this. We got to connect. We got to communicate.
Starlink's amazing. On a dark night, you can literally see the low orbit satellites go by.
Huh.
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can
cool.
see. You can see it's low orbit, so you can see the Starlink satellites passing overhead. A friend of mine lives in Montana where he doesn't have.
Doesn't have light.
They don't. We're barely.
No light pollution.
So they don't have broadband, so their co-ops didn't do what did in North Mississippi.
Yeah.
And so he's got Starlink.
Yeah.
And so it's so fast that his wife was streaming a movie downstairs. We were streaming a movie upstairs. And it was a river runs through it, so we were learning how to fly fish. So.
Actually, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but when you said Montana, you were talking about being able to view the actual satellite itself. I was thinking, out there where you don't have a lot of light around, right? It's easier to see stuff in the sky. I bet you can really see it in that part of the country.
And you can see it in Monroe County. You know, where I
amazing.
live. I live in Rentelton. It's in between Wren and Nettleton, so it's pretty not a lot of light there.
Well, what's going on in your world as far as the regulated entities, organizations that are under the purview of the Public Service Commission? Anything in particular happen there you want to talk to us about?
Yeah, the big task, our number one goal when I was elected was trying to resolve Holly Springs.
Yeah.
I know I spent a lot of time with your colleague Gallo in the morning on letting people know where we're at in that process. So we're executing the bill that the legislature passed. We do have an independent audit on the ground now that's going through the operation side, and so when they're done, we'll go into a hearing phase to try to discern exactly what's going on and come up with solutions to fix that problem once and for all.
Gotcha.
So it's I'm proud of the aldermen there. The aldermen are cooperating with us and TVA in our investigation, and they're doing a good job.
Yeah. You know, Commissioner, we've got 2 hyperscale data center projects coming to the Central District. Of course, you've got Entergy that is investing over $2 billion in new generation and transmission capability to accommodate that. But this isn't going to stop. We're going to see more of this growth. I think Mississippi's well positioned to perhaps be the target for even more data center construction. And the big data center operators have told us, they have announced, yeah, we're going to keep investing in this. We got to get power to them. Where do you stand on nuclear power, small modular reactors, which I think maybe is just a no-brainer solution to the future power demand?
It is. You know, one of the first things we did, there are 3 new commissioners. So it's the first time we know in history since the inception.
Yeah.
So it's me in the north, Keither Stamps in the central, and then Wayne Carr in the south.
Yeah.
So I think it was February we put a resolution out stating that we're pro-nuclear.
Okay.
So we started trying to recruit nuclear companies to look at Mississippi to give us a shot and tell us what we need to try to deploy more nuclear. The good news is that it is the future. You know, Pablos yesterday, I don't know if you heard his presentation.
I did.
You know, he was talking about, you know, renewables, and nuclear is the most clean renewable we have.
Yeah.
It's 95% efficient as compared to solar as a renewable. It's 25%. One of the things he said yesterday is, you know, we don't want to make those mistakes that Germany made. Germany was bragging first quarter of last year, I think it was, that they're over 50% renewable, but they have the second highest energy cost of the world.
Yeah.
So they're losing their industrial base. So we can look to Germany to figure out what we don't want to do. And so they scuttled their whole nuclear program to buy natural gas from Russia. And so now that the Nord Stream pipeline was blown up, now they're literally trying to restart more coal plants, which bad policy equals bad results. So that's what we want to try to stop here. The good news is TVA has commissioned their first SMR at Oak Ridge.
How about that?
So but my understanding is once they test concept there, they build the first SMR in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, then that will start proliferating, and as they build more and more SMRs, the cost will come down.
Sure.
So it is the future, and it's coming fast.
I don't think there's any doubt. Now, what about any potential hindrance from the federal government along this road? I know we've got a big regulatory agency that oversees nuclear power, right? And
yes.
So how does that figure into plans on the state and local level?
You know, I think they just passed a bill recently in Congress to try to help fast-track nuclear.
Okay.
Because, you know, that's the only way we're going to get to where we want to go, because data centers are very energy intensive.
Sure.
And you cannot do that with 25% efficiency in solar. I think wind is only like 37%. So you can't get there with the reliability. Plus, the sun doesn't shine at night. So the only way to get to those goals to power those data centers is with nuclear. It was represented to me, and I'll tell you the truth, that to do an AI web search, it takes 16 times more energy than a regular web search.
Yeah.
So as people adopt AI and we get more and more in ChatGPT and other things, it's going to cost more and more power demand.
Yeah.
And you're
that's
right.
just generative AI. When you start, spilling over into either other forms of AI recognition technologies and more emulation of human decision making, that's even more of a power drain.
Yes, sir. And it's going to continue to have demands on our grid.
Yeah.
And so the reliability and affordability, that's our focus. As far as the Public Service Commission is, what we can steer the future is every dollar that you can save on energy costs is a dollar that you can spend on something else, on your family.
Makes perfect sense. That's right.
So,
what about safety concerns, Commissioner? I mean, 3 Mile Island, you're probably aware, is being recommissioned in a deal between Microsoft and Constellation, because Microsoft's building a big data center there.
Right.
Tell the public, we got about a minute or so left, whether or not we should be concerned about nuclear power, how it's advanced in terms of its safety.
Oh, it's extremely safe. And so to kind of get an idea of SMRs, you can think about aircraft carriers or submarines. They've been nuclear powered for years and years and years. We hadn't had any problems at all. So it's not the old technology. It's very safe, and it's going to be the future.
So the bottom line, just to clarify though, you, the other commissioners, embrace this and believe in the future of nuclear power to power our world.
Yes, sir. And anybody that has nuclear power plants that wants to come to Mississippi, we're open for business.
Bring them on. I
yes,
love
sir.
it. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've been talking to the Northern District Public Service Commissioner Chris Brown here. The Element Well Studio, once again relocated to Tupelo, Mississippi at the Cadence Bank Arena and Conference Center. We're here for the Megapop Digital Innovation event. We've got an open segment, and then it's Nick Webb, a world-renowned strategist, best-selling author, and futurist.